Hi, I'm Sidra Haseem and I'll be your instructor for the course Consumer Behavior. Today we'll be discussing about what is consumer behavior. Before we actually start the topic, it is essential to understand the key difference between the consumer and the customer. A customer is a person who is purchasing the product, whereas a consumer is a person who is consuming the product. In other words, we can say that a customer is a person who is directly involved in the transaction and the consumer is a person who is consuming the product. I'll further elaborate this concept with an example. You are buying a laptop for your father. In this case, you are the customer and your father is a consumer because he's the end user. If we'll further extend this example, you are buying a laptop for your own self. In this case, you are the consumer and you are the customer. So the customer and consumer depends upon the situations. A customer can be consumer at the same time. Now let's start with the topic, what is consumer behavior? We'll start with the definition, that is, the consumer behavior is the study of process involved when individual or group select, purchase, use, or dispose of products, services, or experiences to satisfy needs and wants. So one of the most important thing in this definition is the needs and desires or needs and wants. If the consumer is consuming a product and the needs and desires are not getting satisfied for it, then in this case, the consumer behavior is not completely attained. Consumer behavior consists of consumer emotions, attitude, and perceptions that affect buying decision. Now let's move on towards the next step, that is consumer behavior is a continuous process. Yes, it is a continuous process. Why it is a continuous process? Because consumer behavior is influenced by a variety of factors such as social, economic, and environmental factors. Since market is dynamic, when I'm using the word dynamic, it means market is keep on changing. When the market is keep on changing, so as these factors are changing. When these factors are changing, so as the consumer behavior is changing. So all these things are interlinked. If one thing is changing, then for sure it is creating an impact on the other thing as well. An important aspect of consumer behavior is the exchange theory, which examines the whole consumer process. Now let's focus on the theory. Social behavior involves exchange of values. People are motivated to retain some value, that is reward, when they have to give something up, that is the cost. People pursue social exchange where they received more rewards than their cost. It is a human nature that people want to gain more reward by investing less in terms of the cost or price. Rewards are the positive outcome of the social interaction, whereas the cost is the negative outcome of the social interaction. People are motivated to engage in social actions where they can get more rewards than by investing less in terms of the cost. This is because people are influenced and motivated to maximize the social interactions than the profit. By understanding the principle of exchange theory, marketers can develop marketing strategies and appeal to customers and consumers. This can lead to increase in sales and profit. Always remember, I just want to add my 2 cents over here, that no matter how good your business is, if your business is unable to meet the needs and the wants of the customer, you will never be able to increase the sales. The ultimate goal of every entrepreneur and businessman is to maximize the profit. And this maximization of profit is only possible when you are able to meet the needs and the desire of your customers. Stages in consumer behavior. There are basically 3 stages in the consumer behavior. That is pre-purchase, purchase, and post-purchase. Now let's move towards these stages. I'll explain each stage one by one in detail. Pre-purchase. As the name says it all, pre-purchase, something before the purchase actually happens. Pre-purchase issue is the stage where the individual or group encounter with various factors and consideration before making the purchase decision. Some common pre-purchase issues are need recognition and information search. I'll give an example to explain this concept more in detail. You were having a mobile phone or a smartphone, and suddenly your smartphone is not working. In this case, what as a consumer you are supposed to do? So the first thing is that need recognition. You have a need. Your smartphone is not working. Now there is a need arise. You are looking for a smartphone. The second stage will be information search. Market is full of products. Obviously, it's very difficult for a consumer to consume each and every single product. So you will be consuming the product that is actually meeting your needs and desire. So that is the information search. You'll be keep on looking for the different alternatives that are available in the market that best suits your needs. Once we are done with this thing, with the need recognition, with the information search, we are moving towards the second stage, that is the purchase issue. Purchase issue refers to the challenges and concern that a consumer encounter at the point of making the purchase. These issues can influence whether consumer is able to purchase or not to purchase. Some common purchase issues are price sensitivity, peer influence, and return exchange policy. Just imagine, you want to buy a mobile phone, but it's very costly and it's not coming in your budget. Then in this case, being a consumer, what you are supposed to do, since you are price sensitive, you will be looking for the alternatives. The other example, maybe your friends, your family, your colleagues are not encouraging you to invest your money on the mobile phone that you intended to purchase. And then the other concept is return exchange policy. There are some stores that are very rigid with their return and exchange policies. In this case, consumers are not inclined to visit those stores since they are very rigid in their terms and policies. So consumer will be looking for those stores that are a bit lenient in terms of their return and exchange policy. Universal return and exchange policies for all type of products is basically the 14 days. Within this time span, you are supposed to return your goods if you are not satisfied with them. Once we are done with the initial two stages, that is pre-purchased and purchase issue, we are moving towards the third stage, that is the post-purchase, which is also known as post-purchase dissonance. Post-purchase issue refers to the challenges and concern that a consumer encounter after making the purchase. Some common post-purchase dissonance issues and problems are dissatisfaction, repurchase intention, and brand loyalty. I'll go with the same example. You purchase the mobile phone. Once you are done with the purchasing, when you start using it, you figure it out that this particular model or this particular brand is not according to your needs and wants, and you are completely dissatisfied with it. In this case, for sure, you will never be recommending anyone to buy this brand or model. Plus, you will never be again rebuying the same product from the same brand. So post-purchase dissonance or post-purchase behavior is very important in order to increase the sales, because this aspect will lead you towards the brand loyalty, and brand loyalty will lead you towards the repurchase intention that again leads you to other marketers to the increased sales. Now, some issues that arise during the stage in the consumption process, we'll be discussing more in detail in order to make your concepts pretty clear. Purchase issues from the consumer perspective as well as from the marketer's perspective. How does a consumer decide that he or she needs a product? That is need recognition. What are the best sources of information to learn more about alternative choices? You have tons of resources. You can go to the social media, you can go to the Google reviews, you can ask your friends also to review about a particular product which you have the intention to purchase. From marketer's perspective, how are consumers' attitude towards product, form, or change? Always remember, your attitude leads towards your intention. Intention is actually the desire to buy the product. If your attitude is negative, then for sure it will lead you towards the negative intention. What cues do consumers use to infer which products are superior to others? Cues, we are talking about the external cues, packaging, advertisement. Either these cues are making any impact on your purchase decision or not. Then we have the purchase issues. In this particularly from the consumer perspective, is acquiring a product a stressful or pleasant experience? What does the consumer say about what does the purchase say about the consumer? Sometimes acquiring a product is a very stressful process, and in this case, the customers or consumers are losing their interest in looking for that particular option. So you need to figure out this. And from the marketer's perspective, you need to do how do situational factors such as time pressure or store displays affect the consumer purchase decision. What is seen is what is sold. It is a very common and important phrase in marketing. If your store displays are not attractive, if the ambience is not appealing or mesmerizing for the customers, so that in this case, the customers will not have the intention to buy the product. Sometimes we are just buying the product because of their external cues, because of their store ambience. I'll give an example over there. Majority of the people are buying Ferrero Rocher because of the packaging. That is one of the most important external cue. Then we have purchase issue. Does the product provide pleasure or perform its intended function? How is the product eventually disposed of, and what are the environmental consequences? Then we have stages from the marketer's perspective. What determines whether consumer will be satisfied with the product and whether he or she will buy the product again? The only thing that can determines whether the consumer is satisfied or not is the only one thing: either the product is meeting the needs and the wants of the consumer or not. If the product is meeting the needs, then for sure consumer will be satisfied. Otherwise, the consumer will never be a satisfied customer. And always remember, a non-satisfied customer or a dissatisfied customer always spread a negative word of mouth. And in this, by spreading the negative word of mouth, the organizations or the businesses are able to lose their potential customers also. So by this, we are heading towards the end of the topic. I hope the concepts are pretty clear to you. Thank you.